Chapter 2. More on Python. Learning outcomes. At the end of this chapter, students will be able to recognize Python keywords, comprehend the fundamental rules of a language, understand syntax, identify different operators of Python. Warm up. What will be the output if the given statements are typed in interactive Python mode? Teachers, note, assist students in doing the above exercise and give some more statements to them. Hello friends, we covered the fundamental of the Python programming language in the previous class. More information about the rules that govern the Python programming language will be covered in this chapter. There are several laws that apply to every human language. These principles are language specific. We adhere to the linguistic rules of the language in which we are communicating. Similar to this, if you want to instruct a machine using a programming language, you must adhere to the syntax or set of rules of that language. Remember it, Python is one of the 9 languages that influence the design of JavaScript. Syntax, the collection of guidelines that must be followed while writing programming statement, is known as the syntax. The interpreter will highlight a statement mistake if the proper syntax is not used. For example, your science teacher finds out that the labeling of the diagram done by you is not correct. Then she will mark the labeling as incorrect. Do you know, many big names use Python for their products, services. Some of these are NASA, Google, IBM, Nokia, etc. A syntax error might cause the program to stop working by using improper punctuation, the wrong keywords or undefined phrases. Look at the program's output and the interpreter's error in the example above. The error is highlighted in red. Variables. Variables are places in a computer's memory where values can be stored. These values are retrieved from memory during processing, where they are subsequently processed to produce output. Each variable has a set of values and distinctive name that make it easier to find and identify the values that have been stored in memory. Mark 80 marks in a variable that stores the value 90. Pin number 110032. Pin number is a variable that stores the value 110032. Variable naming conventions. The guidelines that need to be followed while defining variable are known as variable name conventions. An underscore or an alphabet can begin a variable name. White spaces are used to create variable names. The names of variable can be made up of letters, numbers and underscores. A variable name needs to make sense. Let me answer. Create 2 variable names by following its name conventions. Let's create some programs using variables. Program 1. To print the average of 2 numbers, write a program. To store the values, use the following variable. Number 1. Number 2. Average, total. Program 2. Using variable, create a program to convert kilograms into grams. Program 3. Create a program to print the marks scored by Ajit in the following subject: 1 English, 2 Hindi, 3 Math, 4 Science. Input function. The input function in Python is used to receive user input. The input function is used to collect values from users and save them in a variable. Let us now create a program to print your name and school's name using input and print function. Program 4. Let us create a program to print the cube of a number entered by the user. Let me answer. Tell the input to print a cube of a number. Key words. When speaking in English, you employ a variety of words, and each word has a distinct meaning that is interpreted by a listener. The Python interpreter understands a set of reversed words with specific meaning as keywords. In order to develop your own programming language, you must define keywords and give them a specific function. Let's know about some keywords of Python language. List of keywords in Python. Keyboards in Python. False, class, finally, is, written. None, continue, for, lambda, try, true, def, from, non-local, while, and, del, global, not, with, as, left, if, or, yield, assert, else, import, pass, break, accept, in, raise. Identifiers. Different program elements are referred to as identifiers. We can state that identifiers are the names assigned to variables, methods, objects, etc. Identifiers. A letter must come first in an identifier name. In Python, identifier names are case sensitive. In Python, an identifier can be any length. Python keywords are not permitted to be used as identifier names. Expressions and operators. An expression can be a statement that consists of variables and operators. Expressions are represented on value. For example, any string is also an expression since it represents the value of the string as well. Operators are specially symbols in Python that carry out arithmetic or logical computation. Operators in Python. Operators are used to carry out various operations on variable and produce meaningful outcomes. Python operators. Operator, function, symbol, example. Arithmetic. Used for performing mathematical operations. Addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. Number 1 plus number 2. Number 1 minus number 2. Number 1 divided by number 2. Number 1 multiplied by number 2. Relational. Used to check relation between two or more variables. Less than, greater than. Number 1 less than number 2. Number 1 greater than number 2. Equals. Less than equal. Number 1 equals to number 2. Number 1 less than equal to number 2. Greater than equal to, not equal to. Number 1 is greater than equal to number 2. Number 1 not equal to number 2. Logical. Used to evaluate multiple conditions. And, or. Number 1 is equal to 36. Number 2 is equal to 45. Not. Number 1 greater than number 2 and number 2 less than number 1. Number 1 greater than number 2 or number 2 less than number 1. Kids IQ. Put a tick for correct and cross for incorrect identifier names. Let's recall. To instruct a machine using a programming language, you must adhere to the syntax of that language. The interpreter will highlight a statement mistake if the proper syntax is not used. A syntax error might cause the program to stop working. Variables are places in a computer's memory where values can be stored. An expression can be a statement that consists of variable and operators. Operators are used to carry out various operations on variable and produce meaningful outcomes. Upskill your intelligence. A. Fill in the blanks. 1. To instruct a machine using a program language, you must do adhere to the dash of that language. Answer: syntax. 2. Dash is the collection of guidelines that must be followed while writing programming statements. Answer: syntax. 3. The error is always highlighted in dash color. Answer: red. 4. And dash or in dash can begin a variable name. Answer: underscore and alphabet. 5. The dash function in Python is used to receive user input. Answer: input. B. Write T for true statements and F for false statements. 1. Keywords must be defined in order to develop your own programming language. Answer: true. 2. Different programming elements are referred to as variables. Answer: false. 3. An expression can be a statement that consists of variable and operators. Answer: true. 4. Black spaces are used to create variable names. Answer: false. 5. Each variable has a set of rules. Answer: true. C. Answer the following question. 1. What is syntax? Answer: syntax is the collection of guidelines that must be followed while writing programming statements. 2. What do you mean by variables? Variables are places in a computer's memory where values can be stored. These values are retrieved from memory during processing, where they are subsequently processed to produce output. Each variable has a set of values and distinctive names. 3. Write the guidelines to be followed when naming variables. Answer: guidelines to be followed while naming variables. 1. An underscore or an alphabet can begin a variable name. 2. White spaces are used to create variable names. 3. The names of variables can be made up of letters, numbers and underscores. 4. A variable name needs to make sense. 4. What is an input function? Answer: the input function is used to receive user input. The input function is used to collect values from users and save them in a variable. 5. Write some keywords in Python. Answer: keywords in Python: false, class, written, true, dep, for, lambda, non-local, while, assert, break, etc. Critical thinking. Rearrange the letter to create keywords in Python. Answer: ask students to do it by themselves. Teamwork. The C programming language is another one that is particularly well liked. Python language keywords are listed in the table below. If the C language has an equivalent keyword, find it and enter it in the area provided below. Answer: ask student to do it by themselves.